to speak. Yep. All right. And I think you can unmute yourself.
I think we're good.
Yay. Okay, so I started this new thing every Thursday nights, 10xing your business. I love Grant Cardone, and I team Be Obsessed or Be Average. That is one of his books, and the 10x rule is one of his books, and that's my team's group page. I'm like, everyone has these cool names for like their Zooms, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I just said 10x your business. So I'm so excited to have you on. Can you share your story for everyone on here who doesn't know who you are?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I feel like we haven't done these in so long. So I'm pumped. Hi, guys. If you guys don't know who I am Lara Floyd. I've been with It Works officially 5 years. And that's so weird to say that like I've been with this company for half a decade, because I'm the type of person that would always quit something, within like a couple months of doing it. I've never really stuck with anything. So yeah, 5 years. There's been a lot of life and a lot of things that have happened, but I got started with this business because I was in such a dark place 5 years ago. For those of you who don't know, 5 years ago, I was homeless. I was living in a friend's hotel. I had just moved across the country because I had to drop out of school. It got too expensive for me, and that was my only option. And so it was a really hard time for me 5 years ago. I felt like not even felt like that was my rock bottom. And I was in a place that no 20-year-old should ever be in. And I never really knew how to get out of that spot. And so I had been following a girl on Instagram for a few months into me staying at the hotel. I watched her thrive with this business. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I knew she loved it and I knew she was happy. But the reason why I didn't get started right away is because nothing connected with me right off the bat. I loved that she was going on vacations, and I loved that, she was sharing her new car and she was sharing the trips and all of the things, but nothing stuck out to me. And it wasn't until one night that I got home from working my 3 jobs. I had just clocked out of an 80-hour week, and I came back to my hotel room and was about to go to sleep. And I just had this like moment where, drop a 1 in the chat if you guys know that moment where you're just like, is this it? Like, is this all my life is going to be? Have you guys ever had that moment where you're just like, is this what was meant for me? I don't think so. And I don't feel that passion. And I don't know how I could work 3 jobs for the rest of my life, but I don't know what else there is, because I don't have the time to do something else. I'm already working all my time away, but I still don't have money for my bills. I still don't have money to live. And I was 20. So I was like, is this it? And I woke up the very next morning, and back when posts were in chronological order, the very first post she had posted 30 seconds before I hopped on Instagram, I opened it, and the very first quote, and I will never forget this quote till the day that I die: life does not happen to you, you create your life. And it stuck with me so hard that, not that I was choosing to stay in this 80-hour week cycle and work multiple jobs, because it kind of was my only choice at the time, until I realized that I could do something else about it. And so I reached out to her. I wanted to know more. I knew I didn't have the time. I did not have the money. I did not have the resources. I had no support system at all. I was on my own. There was no reason for me to be successful in this, but I wanted to know more. And so when she told me it was $99, instead of, I had a freak out moment, but instead of freaking out and saying, no, never mind, I can't do it, I sold my TV to get the $99 to get started. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but I just knew that if I took this business and ran with it and gave it 100%, that I could take it to the top. And so I sold my TV. I got started. I went running. I signed my first, at the time, it was 4 customers to hit your goal instead of 6. I signed my first 4 customers in 24 hours. I hit the 400 club in my first 30 days. And I was so pumped, because I only joined this business to make a couple extra $100. And I did that. And I just kept going. And it wasn't until I hit that $200, $250, $250 months that I was like, this is cool. Like, this is what I joined for. I'm good. I'll stay here, right? Drop a 2 in the chat if you've been complacent with a paycheck in this business before, where you're like, okay, I could do this. I could make a couple extra $100. That's all I ever need. Drop a 2 in the chat, because I know some of y'all are there. Or maybe you're at Diamond and you're like, I've never seen this paycheck in my life. I'm cool. I'm cool making 2,000. Where are my doubles at? I got complacent at double. Okay, where are my doubles at that you saw your first $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 paycheck? Insert IDS here. You saw that and you were like, I've never seen that in my life. I'm cool. Okay, I see a lot of twos. I got there when I was making $200 a month. I said, I'm cool. And I learned very quickly that if you don't remain consistent and you don't show up every day and you stop working your business, you're gonna not get paid, right? It just makes sense. And so I started losing I hadn't ranked up yet, but I started losing my pay. It started going down because I wasn't signing customers. I wasn't doing the things. I wasn't showing up because I got comfortable. And it wasn't until October of 2016, I was on the It Works cruise and everyone's opening their prelims, November, they were opening their October prelims. Everyone's opening their paychecks and screaming and they're so excited. And I opened mine and I didn't have one. You want to know why? I wasn't even commission qualified because I didn't sign one customer in over 3 months. Okay. And so I decided right then and there that was the last time I would ever slack on my business. I decided it was the last time I would ever not see a paycheck. And I decided this was my day one. Drop a 3 in the chat if you guys want this to be your day one, the day that you decide enough is enough. I'm running and I'm not stopping. Drop a 3 in the chat. That was my day one. I woke up. When I came back, the rest of November was setting up with distributors. The rest of December was getting that volume. In January, we promoted to executive, which is the first rank in the company. In February, we promoted to Ruby. In March, we promoted to Emerald. And in April, we promoted to Diamond and earned a huge life-changing bonus for me and my family. And at that point, we were starting to make a full-time income. I quit all 3 of my jobs. I started running with this business full-time. We were running for double. But again, that complacency bug hit me. I had never seen that kind of money in my life, and I got comfortable. And so it took me about a year to go double. And we went double a year later in March. Again, we went running and we went running and we went for triple and we missed it and we missed it and we missed it. And I'm here to tell you 3 years later, I'm still a double diamond. But here's the thing that I want to tell you guys is that there were so many rocks and valleys and hills and mountains I had to climb over to get to where I am now. But what I can tell you is that complacency will kill your business. But as long as you get up and you keep going, your business will give you grace and you can start back over where you were. So we're still a double diamond team, but we're running for triple this month. And since joining this business, I have paid off all of my student loans. I paid off all of my credit cards. I went from, a 900-foot square apartment to my luxury apartment. Now we've been in our house for 2 years. And if you see the boxes behind me, we're on another adventure at the end of this month. I joined this business as a 20-year-old single lady, and now I'm getting married and planning my dream wedding. I never thought any of this stuff would happen, but because of this business, I have the freedom of time and the freedom of finances to be able to do those kinds of things. And so I could go on and on about all of the amazing things that this company has brought me, the friendships, the freedom, the time, all of it. But what I can tell you is that this business brought me closer to God. It grew my faith and it grew my belief in myself that I never had before. So that's just a little bit about my story. I don't want to take up the whole time with who I am. I want to get into what we did last month and give you guys some tips to, kick ass in June.
Okay, I love it. You're making me, I was thinking about my post I made today earlier about obstacles, because we all go through them. None of y'all can tell me that you haven't had hard patches in your life, seasons in your life, obstacles where I've had when I broke up with my first boyfriend, I thought the world was gonna end and I was gonna die. That's an obstacle. It is. So I can't even imagine with COVID, for example, and how many people and families were impacted in so many shapes and forms. We can talk about things like this forever, but you are literally exactly my post today. I don't know if you saw it. You need to go like read it
I
out.
haven't, I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, it's super short. But basically, what I said was, it truly, when it comes down to it, like, are you going to grow from it, or are you not? Are you going to let it define you and that's it, right? Are you, like, you have the choice to wake up the next day and be like, it's a new day and I'm going to continue to be a student. I'm going to continue to like learn from what my mistake, or this obstacle, and I'm going to become stronger. I'm going to get tougher. I'm going to become smarter. I'm going to become a better version of myself. And like, it's okay. I feel like, especially like, I hate saying this because I feel like I don't want to like diss the girls, because we're all like women here, most of us. Most of us are women here. Like, it's tough being a woman. Like, it is, it really truly is. It seriously is tough, um but that's also why I love this community so much, and I'm sure you can totally vouch for that as well. Like, truly, the community here is just so amazing, and we, the friendships and just learning and growing from each other is one of like the coolest freaking things ever. Like, it really is, honestly. Um, okay, so something that I actually wrote down when you were talking was, when you joined, you didn't have the money, but you sold your TV. So two things. One, that story, and two, there's been a few other pretty specific, like a few other people who have done something in that extent. Like, one time I heard on a call, I forgot when it was, it could have been forever, it was probably forever ago, some girl like sold her couch, like, her TV, or just like, she didn't pay her phone bill one month, which is funny because like, you use your phone to do this business. But it's truly, when it comes down to it, and this is the second thing, is I heard this from Pam Souter on a family call when we used to dial in on the phone instead of doing like lives on Facebook. And she was giving advice about, when like going over like objections with people, distributors who say like, I don't have the money to join. And she said, well, I say to them, if you need the money, or if you want the change as bad as you say you do, then we both know you can find a way to get the $99. And I use that in my objections every single time. And I also use, like your story, for example, not your specific story, but, and you can, I think stories are really important. So if you guys like struggle with objections when you're talking to people, stories are everything. But I always tell people, if you need this as bad as you say you do, we both know that you can find a way to get it. And I say, you can sell some clothes, you can sell some jewelry maybe you don't use, you can sell your TV, like, you can sell old stuff. I mean, Facebook Marketplace is huge, you know what I'm saying? So I just like wrote that down because that's a tip that I've kept with me personally, that I've heard a few times, that has really just stuck with me, and it's so true. But also going into that, I know I'm like, totally, there's no track here. I already told you this with what we're talking about. It's just what comes up. You guys like ever get frustrated because you're talking to so many people and like, they're just giving me excuses, like, or like, even, we had $20, $39 to join. You're like, it's $20. Like, you don't have the money, or like, why are they saying no? Like, it's $20. This opportunity is worth like so much more than just $99. You drop a one in the chat if you've ever like gone through that. You're like, I don't understand, why. And it's two reasons. One, you didn't sell the opportunity good enough. Like, they've like, you believe, hopefully you believe, I guess that should be the first one, you truly firmly believe that this business and these products will change people's lives. And two, you probably didn't sell the opportunity well enough. You know what I'm saying? So and you can do that literally just by like your energy. You don't have to make like $1 million, or like be like, you know, ambassador in order to like enroll a ton of people. You just have to, share what this company has to offer and what it can do for them. And then the other thing is, what was it? Oh, it just may not be their time. And Lara is a great example of that, right? Because how many people, maybe including yourself, just like her story, you're broke, you're in debt, you're struggling, like, it's like sometimes I talk to people and I'm like, what, I'm offering you money and you're struggling. Like, what do you mean you're not ready? It just may not be someone's time, right? So I hope this gives you guys kind of like a breath of fresh air. And also a tip is don't try to sell to the unsellable. Planting seeds is so important. Like if you're new and you like see people in group chats or group pages, they're like Elsie, 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 DT, DT. You're like, what the heck? They're pulling these enrollments out of their butt. And I'm like, why can't I enroll one person? It's because we've planted seeds, multiple seeds every single day. And we continue to do that consistently every single day. And then we follow up. Sometimes that follow up, it'll be one day and one follow up. Sometimes the follow up will be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, couple months, or heck, 2 years, right? But I gave every excuse in the book before I signed. Exactly. And it may not have just been your time, I love that. Thank you for being honest. Okay, I'm moving on now. Okay, so can you go over your daily non-negotiables? I gotta unmute you. Okay.
I was coughing and I didn't want to like blow everyone up with that. So I muted myself. So yeah, we follow the KPI, which everyone follows KPI, right? We follow KPI for the most part. If not, it's basically going to be the same thing. So I have a poll in my chat with all of my team and we follow the same tasks every day. So do you want me to just read off like the checklist of things that we do every day? Okay, so the first thing is post on your story at least 3 times a day. You obviously want to be doing more than that, but some days are busy. Some days you have things going on. And so as long as we're posting at least 3 times throughout the day, you're getting stuff out there. So I try to be active every couple hours, but 3 times is the minimum. 30 plus minutes of self-development. I go for an hour, but 30 minutes is the minimum. Follow up with people that you talked to yesterday. This one is a game changer because if you're not following up, you're not getting the sale because 90% of your sales are going to be from follow-up. So talking to anyone that I talked to the day before. And what I do is another thing that's on our task list is writing potentials down from the day. So before I go to bed every single night, I have everything is in my planner in my iPad, but sometimes I do use a planner. So it kind of just depends on what you want to use. So all of my trackers will be in an app called Good Notes. I don't know if any of you guys use that, but it's a phenomenal app and it has literally every tracker that I have in here. But every night I will write down, so this is from yesterday. I wrote down, sorry, my ring light is reflecting. So I wrote down all the people I talked to on text, Instagram, and Facebook. That way, the next day when I wake up, I can go through these names and just send a quick follow-up because these are people that just didn't respond. So I can say, how does that sound? Hey, did you get my last audio? Hey, did you want to get set up on the wraps? You know what I mean? And just staying fresh in their mind. Because if you have a conversation with someone on Monday and don't follow up until Friday, you can't be confused when they hit you with the who's this text, So following up the next day, writing down potentials from the day kind of go hand in hand. Interacting with 25 posts. This one is super important because if you're not interacting with other people on your Facebook and on your Instagram, why would they interact with your content? So reciprocating that interaction, liking, commenting, and really building those connections with potentials or maybe people that aren't potentials yet is super important. Checking in with your new distributors and your enroller / upline, depending on like who is your leader. Super important to be letting your leader know, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where my volume is. This is what we're doing. Hey, I have this question. But also checking in with your new distributors because if you don't check in, they will fall through the cracks. No distributor left behind. You check in with them every day, regardless of a response or not. I'm checking in every single day because they're not going to say that I didn't try. They're not going to say that I wasn't there to help them, that they didn't know what they were doing. They just didn't put in the effort because I'm trying to give that to them. So checking in every single day. Journal and affirmations. This is a non-negotiable for our team as well. If you're not writing it down, you're not speaking it out. And you can do all the self-development in the world, but if you're not journaling and you're not doing affirmations and speaking it out, I feel like you're missing, like you have a missed opportunity for taking your business to the next level and really manifesting what it is that you want. So that update chart and volume, you have to stay on top of where your volume is, your projections, where customers are adding to their auto ship. Maybe they're taking away, maybe they're canceling. You need to know where that stuff is. So staying on top of your chart is super, super important. A product / giveaway post. So I do one or the other each day. Add 100 people on Instagram and then add 50 people on Facebook. If you're not growing your market, you're not gaining potentials. You're not growing relationships. Your friends and family can only get you so far. Your 1,000 followers can only get you so far. You need to grow. So adding to your market every day, super important. A life post about the business. Your life posts are what tell people what this business is about, what it's doing for you. And if you're not posting, your business is shut. So life posts about the business, post a TikTok / reel. So making sure that you're using all platforms, not just one, not just two, but all of the platforms. And TikTok is where it's at right now. And if you're not posting on TikTok, you are missing out, sis. So TikTok reels, I already said write down potentials, talk on your story. This one's not necessarily a non-negotiable, but you want to be doing it every so often throughout the week because people want to know what you sound like. They want to match that voice to your face. And if you're only posting product posts or random like quotes on your story, nobody knows who you are. And people buy into people. They want to buy from someone they know, like, and trust, and they want to partner with someone they know, like, and trust. You can be posting all the selfies on your feed, but if they don't know what you sound like, they don't know what your accent is, they don't know what you like, they don't know how you say things and what slang you use, you know what I mean? They're not really going to know you. And so if you want to up your distributor enrollments and your loyal customer enrollments, and honestly, your engagement, talk on your story. An interactive post. So it's just something that's going to get you comments, something like, I did one the other day that I took from another leader. It was like, drop the alcohol that made you say, I never want to drink again. And it got so many comments because y'all, every single one of you has an alcohol that you're like, if I smell this, I'll projectile vomit. So like it got a lot of comments, but what that does is it boosts your interaction for when you do talk about the business and when you do talk about the product. So it's building that engagement. And then the last two are send 100 messages and 10 plus host posts posted for you. So I know it's a lot, but they all kind of go hand in hand. And I feel like when it's broken down into like little parts, it's easier to do than just like post, message, follow up, because it's so broad that like, they're like, well, what do I follow up? Who do I follow up with? So yeah, that's the list.
Awesome. Okay. So, something that I do with my 2.0 team in our group chat, and I saw some of you guys on here, is we do like, kind of like a little giveaway / accountability thing where we take, I don't know if you guys know this who are on here in the group chat, but it's actually tasks from the KPI and the things you do daily, but it's broken up like really specifically. So like, post on your story or like enroll a customer or like, like really broken up. And I feel like maybe you can, if you can you give your advice for someone who's new and they like look at the KPI and they're freaking out? Like, so for me, the first thing that popped up in my head was like the posting. So some people like may be nervous to talk on their story, but honestly, like I prefer to do that because it actually saves me time. Like I'd rather like make a quick, I don't know, like a quick video of me like mixing the coffee. Maybe that's not me talking, but like mixing the coffee, then like taking a picture and like fitting it right and like, like doing the thing, or talking on my story super quick, which isn't live, like you can record it over and over a million times, and just maybe sharing how like, you're making an extra income from your phone, or how you can kind of like turn like opportunity posts or stories into something that's like extremely simple. Like, this is my office for today. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you can give advice on how like not to be overwhelmed and just kind of like have fun with it, and how it's supposed to be like different kind of every time. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like anytime something like this, I always relate it to other jobs that I had. So who has ever worked in like fast food or in like in the restaurant industry? Can you guys, I don't even know what number we're on. Drop it. I think we're on, just drop a 3 or a 4, whatever. 3, 4, drop a 3, 4 if you've ever worked in the restaurant industry. Okay, I see some people. Okay, so I always relate things back to that because that's where most of us come from, right? When you first started, so for example, my very first job when I was in high school, I worked at Burger King. Don't judge me, it paid the bills, it's fine. So when I first started working there, I had never worked ever, so I had never had a job, and I was not familiar with how to make sandwiches. I did not know how to work the cash register. I didn't know how to work a drive-through. I didn't know how to do payroll. Like, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff, right? I was overwhelmed as heck when I first started because I had to now memorize all of these things. If you work at Starbucks, do you know how many drink combinations there are? Do you know how overwhelming it would be to work at Starbucks? If you worked at Starbucks, like, you feel me? I didn't, but I'm just saying it would be overwhelming, right? But what you do is you start to do it. You don't know what you're doing, but you're just like, okay, this is how I work the cash register. This is where all the buttons are, and I'm going to learn them. And over time, doing it over and over and over again, you start to get what's called muscle memory. You're just going to automatically know what to do and where it is. And the same thing with when I was making like the sandwiches and stuff. I did not know how to do it. And I had to look at the little pictures that was like, okay, the bun, then the lettuce, then the mayo, and then you put the burger. You know what I mean? Like, I had to look at the pictures, and then eventually I was like, okay, someone orders this, I know exactly this, throw it out, right? It's the same thing with this business in the sense that you're not going to know how to do it all. And honestly, you're not going to know how to do it even a little if you don't try to get it done, right? So take it one step at a time. Look at the task list and be like, okay, what am I the most comfortable doing? What is the easiest for me in this moment in time? Do that, because that's one step. And then do the next easiest thing. Okay, that's 2. And then it starts to get a little easier as you start going and you pick up what's called momentum. And it's like a little tiny snowball running down a hill. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you can't stop it, right? So the more you do the task list, the more you do the things, the easier it is to do them every day because you start getting that muscle memory. Okay, I automatically post my story. I don't even remember the last time I didn't post on my story because it feels weird to me to not do it now, right? Same with everything else because I gained muscle memory. So my biggest piece of advice is just take it one step at a time, do the easiest things first that you feel the most comfortable doing, and then, get out of your comfort zone and start doing the other bigger things. Utilize your upline and your leaders. If you don't know how to do something, don't just not do it because you don't know how. You're never going to learn if you don't ask. If you don't know how to post, go to your upline. Hey, how do I post? Where can I find resources on how to post? Go find out how instead of shutting down and not doing it at all. I'm guilty of that. If I don't know how to do it, I probably won't. But you can't do that here. We need to learn and we're going to grow. So just take it one step at a time and be resourceful. That's my advice.
I love that. Thank you for being honest. You're like, you're human. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I always tell people, especially if you're new on here and you personally enrolled with me and we like talk together, I'm like, I try to be as real as possible. That's why I love, and I never used to be this way because like I'm super shy, or I was like, that's why I love meeting new people. I actually have one of my newer distributors that are here with her boyfriend and Aaron downstairs because I just want them to see me not on social media because I have ADHD, you know, I get shy sometimes, I'm quirky, like I am like a hot mess, like I'm outside with my rooster chasing me, like it's just, and we're human, like it's not perfect. But another thing that popped into my head was, and I think it was from Kelsey Thornton, maybe a Zoom forever ago, and she was like, you know, if I didn't post like an opportunity post yesterday or like a life post about the business, I'm going to wake up the next day and that's the first thing I'm going to do. Like, I'm never going to make the same mistake twice. right? Or like 2 days in a row. And it's because it takes 21 days to create a habit. That's what they say, right? So the more when you're inconsistent, it's harder. It's kind of like walking up a hill versus like sprinting up a hill. Like which one would you rather do? None, but you know what I'm saying? Like which one's easier? You know what I'm saying? And to avoid like having to like it's obviously a lot harder to sprint up a hill, right? So if you just have that nice brisk consistent walk, which is the same thing of working your business consistently, it's going to be a lot easier, you know, to get to that top or get to like that next goal, you know. Yes, I love real people. I love it. Okay, so there was something else. Okay. Can you talk about like life and work balance? I feel like I get this question so much. And I feel like it's just something that's really important to go over. And I love hearing like everyone's different answers because we're all so different, you know?
Yeah. So I have a love-hate relationship with this question. Work-life balance for me or for anyone, it doesn't exist. It's called blending. Okay. You're never going to have a perfect, okay, this is on this side and this is on this side and the scales are balanced and I have enough of this one. And you have to blend it together. Okay. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to work my business for 8 hours and then I'm just going to unplug and then like do this for 8 hours and then I'm going to do that. It doesn't work like that. And if you're working your business solely based on balancing each thing in your life, you're going to burn yourself out. What I would suggest is start calling it blending. Okay. This business is meant to fit into the nooks and crannies of your already existing life. You did not click submit to join this business to have a 9 to 5 job. You did not click submit to only work this business from this hour to this hour. You did it to live your life and work your business around that. And so what I've learned over the last 5 years is setting boundaries with what you need to get done. So just like I said with the task list, writing down the things that you need that are the easiest to get done and that are the most prioritized in your day. So for me, say like we're about to move. So packing a box a day is important to me and I need to get that done. Dishes, not so much. That can go lower on the priority list. I don't think you guys want me to tilt my camera over and see the dishes in my sink right now. Okay. So that's low on the priority list. Write the high priorities up. Working your business, doing your self-development, having a date night, taking a couple hours and taking your kids to the park, taking your dogs to the park, whatever it is. Write down the priorities on a piece of paper, on a sticky note, whatever it takes, write that stuff down and make sure whatever happens, that stuff gets done, right? And then blend everything else throughout the day. Something that's also really helped me and a lot of people on our team is utilizing the calendars in your phone. I don't know if you guys already do that or not, but this is something I recently discovered, that you have a calendars app that you can plan everything. What's a date night? Kidding. Y'all, please love your significant others and don't forget about them in this business. It's called blending. You can work your business on the way to date night, unplug, be present in that moment, and then come back to it, right? Or you can unplug for the rest of the night. I feel like I'm going all over the place. We're going with the flow. It's fine. The biggest thing is just being present in that moment with what you're doing. And so if you're working your business, you are solely working your business. You're not doing anything else. You have 15 minutes to work your business. You take that 15 minutes and you message and you get your follows out or you do your follow-ups, whatever, only that thing, right? You're on date night. You better put that phone away. You're with your significant other. You're watching a movie with your kids, put the phone away. You're with your kids. This is called blending, right? We're not here to, excuse my language, I know I said ass like 5 times already, but like we're not half-assing anything anymore. Like you want to be 100% in that moment with whatever you're doing. So that way, when you're doing the other things, you can give your full attention there. I feel like so many times you try and balance all of these things, and you're trying to be a mom, and you're trying to be a wife or a girlfriend or a fiance, and then you're also trying to be a business owner, and you're also trying to work your full-time job, and you're also trying to go to school, and you're also trying to clean your house, and you're also trying to clean your car, and you're also trying to go to the grocery store and make food and do all of these things. I get it. I like to be a busybody too. However, you can't do all of the things all the time, but you can do all of the things if you're intentional with the time you have, right? So I feel like I was all over the place, but the biggest thing is just knowing your priorities, knowing what you have to get done that day and what can be put off, what's not as important, right? Um, and then time blocking, using the calendar app on your phone to really mark down those priorities. If you have Zooms, if you have coaching calls, if you need to plan a shower in there, I plan out whatever I need. If you have to remind yourself to eat, put it in your calendar. I feel like lose the word balance and start using blending, and know that it's all going to flow together. Just be intentional with the time that you have. So that was all over the place, but I feel like that answered it.
No, that was really good. I never heard of it using the word blending, and I love that so much because it's so true. But I also think that I also th- I also think that like I don't know, whenever I get on Zooms, I always just like ask God to speak through me, because the confidence thing, I've been like, that was one of my words for like this year. And actually I started a little before the year, and I'm just like, speak through me, and I'm just gonna speak whatever comes to my mind. Like, and this is one of these moments, because it truly, if I wasn't like so honest with people, like I would be doing such a dang disservice. Like I feel the hardest thing is that people think something's wrong if it gets tough sometimes. They think like, do you get what I'm saying? Like if they, get in one argument with their spouse that like this business is bad, that may be a little dramatic. Um, or like, I don't know, like, you enroll your first distributor and maybe they like quit. Like, I feel like perspective and mindset for sure is so important. And that's why self-development is huge and always number one, because, you know, it's like, that's where growth comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like when you started talking about like spouses and being present, Aaron and I have literally, I can't even tell you how many arguments we've gotten in like the first probably 4 years in my business. And I've been in, it's 5.5 years, it'll be 6 years in October. But each time, the first like year and a half of it, I just didn't care, because like I just didn't care. And then, after that, I started like actually paying attention to what it was, right? And I'm just giving this as an example because I know I get this question a lot too. But like I paid attention to truly what it was. And one, it was because he just didn't know what the heck I was doing. He thought I was playing on my phone. Seriously, like, I don't know. But like I didn't think of that, because like I'm working, I'm like, I'm trying to promote, and he literally just thought I was playing my phone. He had no idea what I was doing. And two, I was at that time I was choosing the business over him. Like it was all out of love, you know what I'm saying? And like through these times, our relationship has never been better because of it. Never. You know what? Because I learned that I need to be more present in my relationship, regardless of the business or not. Because if I didn't learn from the business, that situation, it would have happened somewhere else, So like a blessing in disguise kind of thing. But yeah, now I'm going off a little bit. Yeah, it's like y'all gotta learn to like embrace change and embrace the hard times. Like it's okay to not be okay, right, in moments of time, but that's what makes you, like truly. I just keep thinking about like my post with the obstacles. It's so freaking true. It's like, and we're women, we can do a lot. Like women who runs the world, just saying. Okay, anyways. Let me see. So I have two things on here, one about fears and one about leadership. So I don't know which one you want to go into first, but um, you know, maybe fears first, and
Yeah.
maybe like going into leadership with fears too. I'm like I'm overcoming fears, I feel like every day in my life, but if for newbies, or maybe not, or maybe if you have like a story that you're thinking of overcoming a fear in some way, shape, or form in your business that you want to share.
Yeah, no, I mean, as soon as you said fear, I don't know why, maybe it is just God speaking through me. The thing that instantly came to my mind is just like double diamond, because you know what's so crazy is, actually, let me preface with this. Can you guys drop a 5 in the chat if you've been at the same rank for a long time? It doesn't matter what rank. It doesn't even matter if it's distributor or you've been in a rank for a while. I'm seeing some 5s. Yep. Taylor, I see your 5 right there in the camera. I see you, Sarah. Okay. Guys, 3 years. Actually, 3.5 years at Double Diamond. But you know what? I'm still here. And what I want to go into about fear is just like fear of being there forever. Have you guys ever felt that? You're just like, okay, like I promoted a couple times, or like I promoted once, or maybe I haven't promoted at all, and maybe this is it for me. Have you ever felt that? Drop a 6 if you felt that fear, where you're just like, I see all the other people around me, maybe someone who joined way after me. Someone who joined way after me is already way above me. There's actually multiple people. We all promoted Double Diamond in the same month. There was a group of us. One is an Ambassador Diamond in the top 20 now. One is a triple diamond in the top 150. And one, I think she's a presidential diamond. And I'm a double. But you know what? I'm still here. I'm still paying my bills. I'm still showing up. I'm still in Cassie's top and rollers every single month. I'm always in Cammie's DMs, like she's always in mine. You know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes I just have this fear of, maybe this is it for me. Maybe this is just what I'm meant to be, is a double. Like I'll push for triple and I'll keep just falling short because this is where I'm meant to be. But y'all, when you have those fears, when you don't feel good about something, when you have these thoughts and they don't make you feel good, that's the devil in your head telling you lies to make you steer away from where your true potential is. And it's taken me a really long time to learn that, and a lot of hills and valleys. And just what Emily was just saying a few minutes ago about just feeling like discouraged and feeling sad and like going through obstacles. Like I've been through so many of those obstacles in this 3.5 years of being double, that it brings that fear to me. But what piece of advice I have for you is to pick yourself up and do it all over again. No matter how many times you fall back, no matter how many times you lose rank, no matter how many times someone quits, or you have a leader who just isn't leading the way that they should be, or you have someone who you see the potential but they don't see it, or how many times you have a customer cancel, or how many times you get into a fight with your significant other because he just doesn't see that vision, or she doesn't see that vision that you see, but they will, but they don't see it right now. No matter how many times those things happen, you make the decision every single day to pick yourself back up and do it all over again until you get the result you want, until you hit that goal. And so, even though I still have these fears to this day, I know that I'm a dang good leader. I know that I'm walking in my purpose, and I know that I'm going to get there one day, but that fear is still there. And so what I can tell you is that the fear is going to be there no matter what. You're going to have deep embedded fears in your head no matter what. We are human. And the devil speaks to us daily just as much as God does. And so what you're going to do is you're going to feel the fear and you're going to do it anyway. Time is going to pass and you're going to feel pain no matter what you do. You might as well get a reward for it at the end. So that's all I have to say about fear, is just do it anyway. Do it scared, do it with fear. You're never going to be fearless, but get a reward at the end for it.
Okay, so good. Again, something that was just sticking in my head when you were talking, and excuse my language, so just a heads up, but like, I'm speaking to everyone here. No one gives a shit if you fail. Like, I feel like that's one of the biggest things too. It's like, they're gonna judge me. or like I'm not, you know, they're gonna think I'm not good enough, or like there's like they're just like afraid of failure. But like no one gives a shit if you fail. Like no one's gonna think less of you because you didn't hit your promotion or you haven't promoted in X amount of time. Like truly what it comes down to is who you become in the process. And something else that I've been thinking about too, you know, I've known Lara for a while, like since I started before you, obviously. Did I?
Yeah, like 6 months, but we're on this literally like side by side. We were in like a
Yeah.
little tiny group chat like 5 years ago.
Yeah. And we just like watch each other from the sidelines. We don't talk very often, but like we've been in for a while together. And like all I can think of was when you're talking is I've seen you grow and flourish constantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no offense, like I'm not thinking about like that's what I remember. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure like you post about your wins or like, you know, maybe a big paycheck jump or like a big fast star. Like, I'm sorry, I don't remember that from your page. Like I remember like, you know, things that you post about like your growth and your wins and you having fun and you with the girls at your, was it your bachelorette or your shower?
Yeah, it was my engagement party. Yeah.
Or engagement party, sorry. uh, Same
They
thing.
all blend together. They blend.
And you guys just, and how cool it was how like a lot of the girls there were the girls you met in this business. Like truly when it comes down to it, that's like that's like what gives this feeling here. And at the end of the day, what is going, like truly what is going to matter. You know, it's yes, it's great to get a promotion. Yes, it's great to get a bonus. I'm very red and I'm very money driven. So like guys, don't like I will never say, you know, I don't run and I'm not a red. Like that's totally me. But truly it will get exhausting if that's where your focus is, right? Like focus on your team's promotion, make little goals for yourself. How many people on my team can I help promote to executive this month? Can I help promote to Ruby this month? Like how many new DTs can I promote this month? How many or enroll this month? Like how many lives can I change? You know, like change your goals each month, right? And if you have a lot of the focus on yourself, and yeah, I'm calling some of you out because I've been here in my business. If a lot of your focus is on yourself and your goal and your promotion and your volume and why you're not enrolling or why you're not promoting, that alone could just be the issue too. You know, it's once you enroll one distributor on your team, it's no longer about you, you know, and that's why I said in the beginning, the best part about this business is the growth and who you become throughout it and who you meet. Really cool too. All right. What was it? So we have 10 minutes. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm debating what I want to ask and how long it's going to take.
You're good.
Yeah, I was going to ask about leadership again, because that's a really popular question. You know,
I can fit it in 10 minutes if I need to.
no, it's all right. I mean, it's not that huge. So 2 parts of this question that I love asking. Any advice you have for new distributors who are nervous to enroll distributors? And the other end is any advice for distributors who may have a fear around their leadership, which results in the lack of them enrolling distributors and or like promoting and leveling up?
Yeah. I feel like the first question you have to ask yourself in becoming a leader is, are you coachable? Are you coachable? If you are, then you can learn how to teach others to be coachable. And so the first thing you have to remember is you're not alone in this. If you're a brand spanking new and you have someone who's wanting to join this business, it is a disservice to tell them that they can't join because you aren't ready to train them yet. That's one. Two, you're not alone and you have amazing leaders above you. So if you're on Emily's team, I'm sure Emily's going to be walking you step by step, exactly how she trains to help you train to train someone else. So she's teaching you while you're teaching someone else at the same time. So it's killing two birds with one stone and you're not doing it alone. And again, you're doing a disservice to someone by not allowing them to join just because you have fears, right? And then what was the second part of the question is like fears of, sorry, like slipped my mind.
I was muted.
Okay.
um so thinking that I mean, I guess that kind of your answer kind of went into it. Just not having confidence around leadership, which results in them not enrolling. But I feel like that's kind of what
Well, it
what
also
more
leads it also leads into self-development and business development. If you're not doing both of those things, you're never going to grow as a leader. So you can enroll all the distributors, but if you're not learning how to be a leader and you're not learning how to guide people in the right direction, how to relate to people, how to have conversations, how to build relationships, how does a red work? How does a blue work? How does a green work? How does a yellow work? And how can I be all of those colors? I feel like most everyone knows the color personalities. On our team, we also do the Enneagram. If you don't know how every single type works and you don't know how to work with each of them, you're not going to be able to really like thrive. I feel like that's something that I've learned over the last like year and a half. 2020 and into 2021 was a big year of growth for me in the sense of I've been red for so long and I truly believed that I could only work with reds. Has anyone felt like that where they're just like, I am such like, I'm a go-getter, I'm driven, and I can only work with go-getters and driven people? Or you're a yellow and you're like, I love connecting and I love when we have conversations. I can only connect with yellows. Or if you're a green and you're organized and you're number oriented and you love details, I can only work with people who ask me questions. You know what I mean? Okay, so the colors, Grace, it's a color personality. There's 4 colors and it just describes like how you work and your personality. So reds, very goal driven, they're money driven, they're very like go getters and they just go. They don't care about anything else but going, right? Blues love to have fun. They won't do it if it's not fun. Green, they're very like detail oriented, love asking questions. They love the number side, the science side. And then yellows are very people oriented. They love to connect. They're normally empaths, sometimes sensitive, not all the time, but they are very emotion driven. So those are the 4 colors. There's more in-depth trainings to that, but just like a synopsis. And I think it's super important to understand that you need to know how to work with all of them. So find resources, read books, listen to audiobooks, hop on these Zooms and listen to other leaders speak. Adopt things from each leader that fit you and how you want to lead and start leading that way. Every leader you will ever see is just a mixture of other leaders that they learned from. I cannot tell you the amount of times this Zoom that I heard Morgan Martin in my head, or Jade, or Cassie, or Emily, or Les Brown, or Ed Milet, or other people that I've listened to over the last 5 years, and it's just all collected into one, and it makes me, right? Learn from other leaders. If you're nervous and you're scared, that's okay. Like I said, feel the fear and do it anyway. We all started somewhere. Do you think Emily and I trained the same way that we did 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago? Oh, hell no. Like, I do not train like that anymore. But the only way you're going to learn is if you start, right? So what if you train badly one time? Guys, let me tell you, my enroller enrolled me and then left 2 weeks later. I'm still here. I'm still enrolling. I'm still a double diamond leader. That didn't stop me because I wanted it bad enough that I went out and found it myself. It doesn't matter how you train someone. If they want it bad enough, they're going to figure it out. They're going to find the people who pour into them. They're going to find the Zooms. They're going to use the resources on your team page. They're going to use your boards. They're going to use it all and they're going to figure it out. Trust me, it doesn't even matter how you train. As long as you show them that they are cared about and that they belong here, they're going to figure the rest out. So someone said,
So with I don't mean to cut you off, but with
no, go ahead.
I wanted to say something about Mackenzie, your comment. She said training a green freaks me out because I'm the furthest from a green. So funny, because I was just having this conversation this morning with Allie O'Neill. I'm not sure if you're on here. But 2 things. One, I used to be extremely frustrated too because I have, I'm actually a rainbow, but my main color is red. I'm literally like my percents are like basically all pretty much there, but I tend to lead with my red because this is business. So I feel like naturally that's going to come out. I feel like the biggest thing about color personalities is it's not that a color is better than another in any way, shape, or form. I truly believe that the most important thing is learning how to adapt within each color. So, Mackenzie, if you're afraid of training a green, you need to train yourself how to be a green first because every color has its strengths, right? And another thing is you're missing out on all the benefits. Like, that doesn't mean that you need to be like a hardcore green, but again, they all have their benefits. And another thing is I actually like have learned to love and embrace other personalities and other colors when working with them because let's say I'm working with a green and they're asking me like the most craziest detailed question. I'm like, who would ever ask that question? And why do you even care what this like products ingredient like science, like something like that. And I'm like, but you know what? Maybe a customer will ask me this in the future, or maybe someone else will ask me this in the future. So I'm going to go figure it out because we choose to lead, and we choose to be solution oriented. And I'm going to save it somewhere in my phone so that it'll save me time and frustration the next time someone asks me that. Right. And it's all out of love, of course, but also I was talking to Allie this morning. I'm like, I love my greens on my team. Allie's entire leg or all like most of them are greens. I'm like, I love my greens because they like her girl Cheyenne, like she makes the content calendars for us every month and she'll send me pictures of them at the end of each month for like the new month. And I'm like, wow, I would have anxiety trying to make something look like that. But like that's amazing. So once you grow, and I remember having this conversation with Cami one time. She was like, she was talking about how she had a group page with like she had like 3 ambassadors under her, and they still use the same group page because they were all different personalities and they're all different strengths. So Cami is a lot like Cami, where we're red, yellow. So she would handle one thing. She would handle like the connection with the team and like the relationships, but like also, the tough love and the straightforwardness kind of thing. And then she had like Denise Walsh, who was super green, and she would do all the scheduling on the group page, right? Or like different things like that. So you learn to like work with each other and utilize and learn different strengths as well. Did you want to answer one?
Yeah, well, going off of that, there's a really, really good book, or you can do an audiobook. It's super short. It's like 2 hours. I pulled it up from my Audible. It's called The 4 Color Personalities for MLM by Tom Big Al Schreider. And he also has a follow-up book called Mini Scripts for the 4 Color Personalities. So it's specifically for network marketing and the color personalities. And it goes in depth about each color, and it goes in depth about how they function, what drives them, and what turns them so far off that they don't even want to do it. And so that book changed everything for our team, because when I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, like I'm trampling all over these people because I'm doing the things that drives me, and I'm telling them to do the things that drives me, but it's turning them off. Like they don't want to do it because that's something that like is so disgusting to them, or like, so like, I can't do that. Right. So like someone, for example, like I'm a red and Emily is, like she said, she's a red too. If someone came up to us and was like, here is a 1,000 like step checklist that you can do, and when you do it, you're going to make $1 million. You want to know how long it take us? Probably 10 minutes, because we're money driven and we're goal oriented. Now, if we gave that to a blue, you want to know what they would do? They said, haha, no, walk away, because it's not fun. You know what I mean? So that book is amazing. And if you are in any leadership position, honestly, if you're not even a leader yet and you don't have anyone yet, you are a leader because you're leading yourself. Get that book. It's going to help not only in the business, but in real life, because you're going to start picking up on, oh, my mom's a yellow. Okay, this is how like we're gonna have. I type everyone now. I'm like, I know exactly who you are because I read this book. So that book and then the mini scripts helps with conversation starters with your distributors or new distributors, or how to talk to yellows, how to talk to reds, how to communicate with greens if you're not. You know what I mean? So they're super short. They're both under 2 hours and they're really, really good books. So yeah, list does not sound fun, Mackenzie. You're probably a blue or a yellow. Unless I told you that it would help me and you'd probably do it. So
Yes.
I don't know. Do you have any last minute things you want me to add on to?
No, it was so good. I was just even talking about I do a lot of I work a lot with like Tony Robbins and do his events, and like I have a life coach through him. And something that I've learned, he doesn't do like the exact color personality test, but he does the I forgot what it's called. It's like the legitimate one that people use in like businesses.
Like the ENJP thing?
Yeah, yeah. It's basically the same thing, just more in depth.
Yeah.
And oh, the disc. Yeah, thank you. Uh,
Mhm.
and also what I love too, like about Zooms and stuff like this, guys, I'm not kidding you. I like my relationship with Aaron and my parents and my friends are because this business has pushed me to better myself. Like the color personality, although that the book she mentioned may be focused towards like network marketing, like you can do other things or personality tests, or like I forgot the one where is it the enneagram? Is that what you said?
Mhm.
People's love language, like when I realized that not every that Aaron's love language wasn't to like mine,
Mhm.
which why would I ever think that? I don't know. So see, like it changed the game. Like I'm like, oh, the only thing I have to do is like go hang with him and like like look at the basil he just planted for 5 minutes, and that's it. Like he's that's how I give him my love. Cool, like I could do that. But it's just really important. It's really cool. I love that stuff. I mean, honestly, thank you so much. Holy crap, this was such a good Zoom. Thank you. I appreciate you taking your time out of your night. If you guys can give her some love in the chat, she just rocked it out and she gave it her all. But yeah, thank you. I will get the recording up too. And I hope y'all have a good
That's
night.
welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Good night, guys.